Around the Department of Defense this week. This is your DoD Weekly News Recap.
President Donald J. Trump has announced he will nominate Acting Defense Secretary Patrick Shanahan to become the nation's 28th Secretary of Defense. Shanahan said Trump told him at the White House Thursday afternoon. The secretary said he called his mom first about the news, and she was super happy.
Very excited. The national defense strategy obviously is the high priority, but as you can tell, there are real-world events that happen every day, so you have to spin a lot of plates.
Shanahan's been the acting secretary since January 1st.
The biggest challenge is balancing it all. I'd say, for me, it's about practicing selectful neglect so that we can stay focused on the future, but not ignore a lot of the emerging, really important issues that pop up day to day that you don't plan for.
He said he remains committed to modernizing the force so that the nation's soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines have everything they need to keep the military lethal and the country safe. Defense Department officials testified before the Senate Appropriations Committee's Defense Subcommittee, and Acting Defense Secretary Patrick Shanahan told members of Congress the fiscal year 2020 budget request is critical to the national defense strategy.
The $750 billion top line for national defense enables DoD to maintain irregular warfare as a core competency, yet prioritizes modernization and readiness to compete, deter, and win in a high-end fight of the future.
The Secretary also highlighted the main points of the budget request.
The budget includes double-digit increases to our investments in both space and cyber, modernization of our nuclear triad and missile defense capabilities, and the largest shipbuilding request in 20 years when adjusted for inflation.
The acting defense secretary also met with the Colombian vice president at the Pentagon to reaffirm the close partnership between the United States and Colombia. He described Colombia's neighbor nation, Venezuela, as one of the most critically important challenges to our hemisphere's peace and prosperity.
Our hemisphere's security is at stake, and rest assured the United States will continue to keep all options on the table to ensure regional security. We are also mindful of the growing humanitarian crisis brought on by years of mismanagement by Maduro.
The two leaders pledged to work as a team to find a peaceful resolution to the Venezuelan crisis. The unrest in Venezuela has resulted in a humanitarian crisis in the region, and Shanahan says the U.S. will continue to support countries affected by it. The Navy is sending the hospital ship USNS Comfort to the U.S. Southern Command Area of Operations next month to help provide medical services to South and Central America and the Caribbean, particularly to the areas hosting millions of Venezuelan refugees. The Army is growing its presence in the Pacific region, keeping rotational forces there longer with plans to increase the number of soldiers it sends. A new division strength rotation will begin soon, with thousands of soldiers going for short-term deployments. General James McConville, the Army's Vice Chief of Staff, says the move is part of the dynamic force employment concept laid out last year as part of the National Defense Strategy. That's your DoD News Weekly Recap. I'm Navy Petty Officer Jen LeBron. You can find more stories about your military on defense.gov or by using #KnowYourMil.